Hey, listener, thank you for pressing play. This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, the Jock remembers Kobe Bryant. We text Jared Leto live on the show. The Birds of Prey first reactions are out, and hip-hop and Godzilla cross paths on Eminem's surprise new album.
Wowie zowie!
Plus a listener-sponsored movie review of the 80s cult classic Roadhouse.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Wednesday, January 29th, 2020.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Why? I don't know.
Check. Check one. All right. This is really fans out there. Let's give it up. Jockin', we nerdin'. We funny, disturbing. Jockin', we nerdin'. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah. Jockin', we nerdin'. We funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. Jockin', we nerdin'. We spoiler alert.
Yeah, what is up, listener? How's it going? And welcome to the Jock and Nerd Podcast, where we deliver comic book and superhero, TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd. What the hell are you doing back here?
And he's, hold on, I'll get to that. Also joining us is the world-famous internet's puppet bouncer, Rug Dalton. But we just call him Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
Yeah, I told you to be nice, and be nice until I tell you not to be nice.
How do I know when not to be nice?
I'll tell you.
You'll tell me. That's
I'll scratch my
right. Look, the interrupting cow is back, bitches.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I didn't even get my line out.
Look, yeah, just get used to it. We're back to status quo. My voice, clearly not 100%. It's like 90%, but it's not fucking stopping me this time.
Damn it.
Yeah, I knew you were suffering through the last show.
Oh, my God. You should have seen me. I was sitting on my hands yelling at a mute microphone. It was fantastic. You guys did a good job, though.
We tried.
I heard we did a good job.
We have some feedback because you guys wanted to know. We will share that at the end of the show.
It was a first.
It was a Jock and Nerd first for the first time in over 300 episodes, almost 5 years that I wasn't on the show, but I kind of was. So technically I was still there, but I wasn't there. Whatever.
Sure.
Anthony.
Yeah.
You got any plans this weekend? Doing anything interesting? I don't know. Just throwing that out there.
Going to a football game.
Football? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I thought there's only one football game left.
And it's pretty amazing. Some would say super.
Anthony, you are going to the Super Bowl.
Yes, I am.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, I am. If you haven't heard Jock Talk, which most of you don't listen to, I revealed it there. But yeah, I am going to Miami, Florida for the Super Bowl.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Say hello to Pitbull for me.
Pitbull?
Yeah.
You are dating yourself with a Pitbull reference.
Who's the hot Miami group right now?
Gloria
I was
Estefan
going to
only.
say Gloria Estefan. Miami Sound Machine. That's right.
Yeah.
All the artists will be down there.
They never go odds. Who's doing the halftime show?
Jennifer Lopez and Shakira.
Oh, the Ass Twins.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of booty shaking.
There's not going to be a lot of, they're going to need a big stage
There's
for
going to be
that.
50-year-old butt shaking and like 40-year-old butt shaking.
Won't need a binocular to see those buns.
Who do you think will win? Are you rooting for, what is it?
What, in the butt shake off?
In the butt shake off, I'm going to go J-Lo. She's got more experience.
Shakira's no. Have you seen Shakira's
but
hips?
J-Lo's been doing it longer.
They don't lie.
They don't lie.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Do they bring the milk boys to the yard? I don't know.
Jesus Christ, you are old.
I have all these old out-of-date
My neck,
references.
my back.
Yes.
That's all I know that.
What is it? 49ers in Kansas City? San Francisco?
Yes.
Ooh,
Chiefs.
Do you have any stake
No,
in this?
I'm not really rooting for anybody. I'm a Chicago Bears fan, so I don't really care.
Yes.
How about damn Chiefs?
But I'd lean towards the Chiefs if I had to pick a team.
Oh, you're going to pick the Chiefs?
Yeah.
What's the name of the guy, the quarterback for the Chiefs?
Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, he's
Mahomes.
Ball throwing guy?
Mahomes. Yeah, he's probably the rising star. If he wins the Super Bowl, he'll probably be the face of the NFL.
My homie. Are they the underdogs?
I think they're the favorite. I don't know. I'd have to look at it. It's pretty close. Both teams are pretty
They've
evenly
never
matched.
been this far, the Chiefs.
They haven't been there in 50 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so it should be something special if they win.
Yeah. And San Francisco is also a good story, so either way.
Yeah, the 49ers haven't been in there in a while.
7 years, but they haven't won one in a while.
I expect some good stories when you get back. I want a full report. That's wild. It's very exciting. That's very cool.
Miami, yes. I'm taking my talents to South Beach.
Yeah, it's a good trip for you. You're going to get into the heat. You're out of the Chicago winter.
Yeah.
Going to see some ladies in bathing suits.
That'd be nice. And some men in bathing suits.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's even better.
I think I'd still prefer New Orleans over Miami. I don't think I would enjoy Miami. All of Florida
You
kind
haven't
of...
been to Miami?
No, I've been to
Jesus
What
Christ.
Jacksonville.
the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
Orlando.
shut
First
up.
of all, it's Florida, where crazy people do
Right.
crazy shit
Yes,
all the time.
yes.
You'd love that's the place where you should go.
I don't know. That whole state
Yeah,
kind of scares me.
Well, just to put it in perspective, yes, the state of Florida is insane. Miami's its own little world,
Yeah.
though. It's not like the rest of
It's
Florida.
built on cocaine money.
Absolutely.
That's what I know.
So I feel like you would definitely enjoy Miami.
I might. I would start digging up fucking dirt looking for stash that's been there for 40 years.
Yeah.
There's cocaine
Old
and money
coke.
buried all over the place.
I love that this guy goes, I think New Orleans is better. Have you been to Miami? No.
Nope.
It doesn't smell like urine and vomit.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, two cities in the South, I'll prefer the vomit and the fucking urine.
All right.
I don't
Really?
know. I don't
I mean,
know.
the music scene's probably a little bit better in NOLA, but like,
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad in Miami. And you still got good food, good culture,
That's true.
great weather.
Yeah.
You do have to worry about you have to worry about hurricanes in New Orleans
Yes,
too.
you do. Just don't go that
yeah,
time. I don't
you'll still get fucked up either way.
know.
Yeah.
You're in that fucking panhandle.
There's your travel tips for the episode, listener. Well, have a good time, man. That's fucking crazy. Let's
Yeah.
get to the geek news right now.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
So this is the Jock and Nerd
I was going to say
podcast.
that's a misnomer.
Sometimes, most of the time it is. Not this week, listener, because the jock world did suffer a huge tragedy, a huge loss in the death of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna in a helicopter crash,
And 7 others.
and 7 other people outside of Calabasas, California. Just shocking and sudden.
Yeah.
Anthony, how did this hit you? What does Kobe Bryant mean to you?
So I want to just throw in if you've listened to Jock Talk or you're going to listen to the spinoff show or have listened to it, then I apologize because I'm probably repeating my thoughts. This episode comes out a week after he has passed away, but it is the Jock and Nerd podcast, and when things happen that are within pop culture that kind of shake pop culture, I think it's worthy that we talk about it because we're human and we should acknowledge things that happen in the world as they happen. How did it hit me? I mean, I wasn't the biggest Kobe Bryant fan as a kid.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was a Michael Jordan guy, so Kobe Bryant was always deemed as the next Michael Jordan, which made me hate him as a kid. And then he was also on the Lakers, which I disliked. He was also playing with Shaq. I just hated. I love to hate the Lakers. I love to hate Kobe Bryant. But I will fully acknowledge he was an amazing basketball player. Towards the end of his career, he was like an OG basketball player that kept it real. So towards the end, very, very well respected within the basketball community. And then post basketball, his career was still just flourishing. He won an Oscar.
Yeah.
He had produced an award-winning show for ESPN Plus. There was a lot for him to offer. So obviously when it happened, I wasn't crying, but I was going, wow, like no way. This is
I thought it was
insane.
a hoax at first too, like a lot of people.
And I was trying to think of comparables, either athletes or just pop culture. And the last time I felt kind of rocked by a celebrity dying was Michael Jackson.
I'll agree.
I couldn't think of anything.
Yes, this hit me like I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I imagine this hit me and reminded me of Michael Jackson and Prince, 2 guys that you think were never going to die because they were so huge and so everywhere, and you're like,
right.
they're superheroes, they're going to live forever. And then just the sudden and shocking out of nowhere, senseless. I mean, he was only 41.
Yeah,
which is so
crazy.
young.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just amazing the amount of how much it's taken over everything I look at.
Yeah.
Like all my social media for the past few days has been Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bryant. Every time I turn on the TV, it's been Kobe Bryant. And then I've seen posts from my friends talking about Kobe Bryant and how sad they are. I'm going, damn, man, this guy. I knew that he was larger than life, but the impact he had on people is just amazing.
The memorials from like Jimmy Fallon had a really touching story, and like everyone in entertainment seemed to have a story about Kobe Bryant, and it was nothing but nice things. But yeah, like you said, the Oscars this year will be doing a tribute because he won an Oscar last year for a 5-minute autobiographical short film called Dear Basketball, which she wrote, produced, and did voiceover on the thing. So that was pretty crazy. Who else has won 5 titles, 2 gold medals, and a fucking Oscar? That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get more into my thoughts if you listen to the spinoff show. I'm actually going to have TJ on, who's a big TJ Johnson from Voice for Another, who's a big Laker fan. So we'll discuss more in depth because I think that platform is a little better to discuss Kobe Bryant. Not only his impact, his career, but also some of the not so nice stuff that Kobe Bryant did maybe in his life. So we'll discuss all of that there.
Ruggs, comment, did it mean anything to you?
I really don't care about sports.
Right.
I know who Kobe Bryant is.
Sure.
I mean, I know him from, good things he's done and from him being in the news for bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I've heard of him, pretty much. I knew that he was like one of the top guys in the game. I think I might have even seen him play a few times. But I wasn't like, all about, but the thing that really rocked me wasn't that he died. It was that his daughter was with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that his daughter was also a basketball player, and that a bunch of other people were on the thing with him, and that they weren't supposed to go out in the fog, and they went out anyway, and that's probably why they died.
And you know how in movies and stuff you see what helicopters and planes have like a proximity alert, and alarm goes off when they're nearing ground. Apparently this helicopter didn't have that for some reason, which I was like, wow. I would think that's a standard thing on fucking helicopters.
I would never endanger a kid if I was a dad to get on a plane if I knew that the conditions weren't right.
Yeah, because I'm sure they've made that trip several times in that helicopter.
Yeah, it's tough to speculate what, happened. From what I've read, he does this trip all the time.
Sure.
And the reason this is stuff I read, obviously he wants to avoid LA traffic. He's rich enough to avoid it. But from what I read, he also would fly in helicopters because he valued the time with his family and he didn't want to be sitting in traffic.
Sure.
So he was with his daughter going to a basketball game, taking her friends as well to a game that they were supposed to participate in.
Man.
So it's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, that's what's really heartbreaking for me. It's not like, when Paul Walker died, I thought it was horrible, but
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But if his daughter was with him, it would be, the impact would be 10 times
absolutely
the amount. So it's just the fact that 2 members of the family died, and it makes it way more tragic. And it just, it's just, I think about the kid, more than Kobe Bryant himself. I just think that about his family, how they're the tragedy is just multiplied by 10.
I would agree. Yeah, I remember one of the things that first came out was he died, and then people were erroneously speculating, even some major news networks, that all his daughters were on because he's got 4.
Yeah.
So there was one of those I read, it was all of his daughters were on, and I was like, oh my god! Even if one daughter was on, I was like, this is now awful. I feel even worse. It is awful that Kobe Bryant died. It's awful everyone else died, but it makes it even worse when someone that is not even hit their life, even experienced the majority of their life, is in there as well. So that was heartbreaking.
Now, what do you think about the whole canonization of this dude? He's now like people are just saying nothing but glowing things about this dude, that he was this perfect dude.
It's, a lot of it. This is part of the gig with popular people. I think once this time passes, people will recognize the totality of the person and then make their own judgments there. But
yeah,
I think it's actually I don't want to say a polite thing to do for the family to canonize them.
I think in this moment, and I've seen people that have jumped out of the woodwork and gone, he's a rapist. Don't forget, he's a rapist. And I for me personally, the details of that case are out in public. Make of it what you will. It's not the right time. I just don't think it's the right time to be an asshole and be like the legacy police and then chasing after people and going, oh, don't you forget?
Yeah.
Don't idolize this man. He's a rapist. Time will come. The time will come when everyone can step back, look at the totality of the person, and then make your judgment.
And, I don't think anybody's really forgetting that, but like you said, this is not the time.
Now, let me throw out this thing. All right.
Yeah.
So people, let's say Kobe Bryant did what he did, right?
Yep.
And now for the rest of his life, he's got to be demonized or whatever, right?
Right.
For whatever mistake he made. Now, the same people or similar people that are on that kind of way of thinking are the same people that are like want to get all these drug dealers out of prison that are like dealing drugs.
Mm.
Now, a drug dealer can give a kid a drug and make him hooked for life and ruin that kid's life. But for some reason, people want that dude out of prison and they shouldn't ever be arrested in the first place. So we're really hypocritical about mistakes people make or things that happen and what the impact is and what we're willing to forgive, what we're willing to look past, and how this person can be rehabilitated and become a trustworthy person in society versus this and that. It's very crazy.
Mm.
So when you're looking at the totality of a person, you have to weigh all those things.
Yeah, I mean, not to dwell on too much. I mean, most people don't make the mistake of what he might have done. So I won't like label it necessarily as. It's tough to label it as just a mistake. I don't even know what the word is to describe if he did commit rape. Mm-hmm. Like what that would be labeled as.
Well, the drug dealer and him they both commit crime. They both committed a crime.
He committed a crime, right? Correct. Crime is also a very loose term because stealing the dollar from the store. But whatever. Semantics. But whatever happened, it seemed like from then on, he became better and did good and did positive for the world.
He
so
learned from it, and
he learned.
Yeah.
All you can ask is if someone makes a mistake and they have a chance at their redemption, mm-hmm. that they do the best they can to redeem themselves and do better, do good. So
yeah,
I don't know.
That's tough, man.
I think that's worth acknowledging.
Yeah.
Right. I think. Yeah, I agree. I like acknowledging all the good someone has done doesn't mean that you're forgetting about the bad.
Is he also considered by some as the GOAT over Jordan?
No.
Nobody.
I mean, there's some Laker fans that might hardcore, but no one considers him the GOAT. Yeah. But everyone considers him a all-time great basketball player, like one of the top basketball players. It depends on where people would rank him among the greats. I would put him in the top 15, top 20.
Okay.
But he's an all-time great basketball player, all-time great winner, all-time great competitor, inspiration to a lot of people. The whole he's known as the Black Mamba. Mamba mentality is a big thing where it's just work hard, do the best you can, get after it, always win. He's made an impact. I literally couldn't think of anyone other than Michael Jackson that kind of died in similar circumstances. Even then, Michael Jackson was older. So
yes, he was older, but it was also very shocking and surprising. You're like, what? This guy?
And divisive.
Just the same. But again,
and a lot of things came out after where you're like, questioning all that stuff.
Yeah. But it was
interesting.
But
it's
good.
Interesting.
Yeah, very crazy stuff. Listener, get involved with the show. Join the conversation. We have an awesome Facebook group called Jock and Nerd Nation. Jock and Nerd. You can join that and hang out and get to know us. We get to know you while you're getting to know us. Well, I want to get to know you, each and every one of you. And if you don't have Facebook, there we got Twitter, Instagram, email. You can send us your voice. Lots of ways to get in touch. Just check out the website, jockandnerd.com. Jock and Nerd. Okay. Jock and Nerd. You gotta have that. You gotta have that. What? Yes. We have kind of our first look here at the first Marvel TV show on Disney Plus, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They are set pictures, and I normally don't like looking at set photos, but this one, it's got the dude playing U.S. agent, and they're clear photos. You get a good look at the costume, and he's holding Captain America's shield. It looks like the shield that was given to who was it given to?
Falcon.
Falcon.
Sam Wilson. Right?
Come on. I remember that.
From an old ass Steve Rogers. How does this dude have it? Who is this? I mean, I guess this is the guy the government's like, all right, well, this is our Captain America now. Give us the goddamn shield. What do you guys
pictures in this article that you sent?
Click on the link and then there's a tweet, and then you click on the tweet and you see the photos. I know it's a set photo, but quality wise, Anthony, is this up to par with like the MCU proper movies?
I mean, it's a set photo, but I mean, he looks good. It looks like it would fit within the universe that they've created. I don't have a ton to say on it, but it looks good.
The main like costume from the comics is like black and red and white, but they went with the whole red, white, and blue here. Ruggs, have you found the photos yet?
No, but like,
you are
doesn't
a
matter.
bastard.
You are a bastard.
Well, how excited are you for the show? The show will be.
Well, I've seen the photos like in the past, on Twitter, but I haven't seen them just now. I just wanted to make sure I'm looking at the same.
It will
shit
be
you're talking
coming
about.
out in August of this
But
year.
I seen the photos. The actor that they got to be
Wyatt Russell.
Yeah, he's not the first guy I would pick. I think that's by design because you don't want to like go, oh, this guy's cooler than Captain America.
Yeah.
So you want a guy that's kind of dorky. So you're like, I don't like him.
He's the son of Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
Oh shit.
This guy.
Is he really?
Yep. 33-year-old son of the Hawn and Russell.
Yeah, he's not really the first guy I'd put in there, but like, they have a plan.
Yeah.
And they're sticking to it.
Yeah, I mean, this show is going to be huge. It's going to be huge to see what Feige does with now that he has the Marvel TV under control, and this is big budget. It's going to be the first one, and then we're also going to get WandaVision later this year. So I'm excited for both of those. Apparently, Paul Bettany said WandaVision is fucking bonkers and nuts and crazy. So
You're crazy.
I am crazy.
Oh shit.
You guys, Jared Leto, star of the upcoming Morbius, also the worst Joker ever. He wants you to text him.
All right.
And,
I'll do it.
What?
and he gave out his phone number.
All right. I'll call him.
What do we need to text him for?
I don't know. He says, he posted in a video on Instagram. He said, hey, everyone, it's your old friend, Jared Leto. I've been thinking about things. I miss you. We've known each other for a long time, and I should probably give you my phone number.
Oh shit.
It's been a while. I'd love to hear from you. Send me a message. Tell me if you miss me. What's going on? I'll hit you back. The number is 213-335-2223.
All right. I'm texting it right now.
We love you. Take care. Goodbye. Ruggs, text him hello from the Jock and Nerd podcast. And
Excuse me? What'd you say? Your voice cut out
and then
there.
see if he writes back.
All right. I'm doing it now. Sent.
Good. I mean, do you think this is his real number? What is this? Why would
I
you?
don't think
Why would
I
you?
don't
it's
think
not
I'm
his
going
real
to get anything
number.
back.
It's not. He's got an automated thing that's going to come out.
He says, I will hit you back. This is Jared Leto. Thanks for texting me. Plus,
He's going to hit me in the back.
it's going to say press yes to stop. Press no to continue.
All right. Nothing happened.
Well, give it time. It's got to go to
All right,
space
nothing
and
happened.
back. Ruggs.
All right. Well, he says he's going to text me back.
I feel like this is all big.
I hate when you let people like hang on a text.
This is all stunts to get people interested in
Seems like classic Anthony happening.
You-
Text Anthony, he takes a day to get back to you.
I'm actually one of those where if I have anything that pops up on my apps that's a notification, I have to look at
You
it
gotta
right
clear
away.
it. You can't have a little
I can't.
number.
I got to clear it.
I hate when you see the three little dots and then it goes away and then it comes back and then it goes away and nothing. And there's just constantly three. I like fucking send what you're going to send.
The worst for me is the people that don't respond to text messages. It's like, motherfucker, I know you looked at my text.
It
What's
says
taking
red.
you so long?
You know what's that?
Yeah.
That's kind of shitty in this day of like instant messaging is people now know that you've looked at
Right.
it
Well,
and
you-
you are
you can-
choosing not to respond.
Yeah, but what if you're
You
busy?
can disable that.
Can you?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I like to look at it and not
You-
give away that I
That is-
looked at it.
That is the first thing I learned right away. One of my girlfriends was like, Tony, disable the red thing on your iPhone. I go,
Fuck.
why? She goes, you don't want crazy bitches knowing
Yeah.
that you read their texts and never responded.
Yes, dude. Solid tip right here on the Jock and Nerd podcast. I never thought about that.
I don't even know how to do it.
Can you do that on Facebook Messenger? Because that's another place where
Oh,
you
I don't
can't
know
really
about
look
that.
at it without giving away that, oh, I've fucking seen this. Now I got to write something, and it's just too stressful.
And it's just too stressful.
Wait, I had an idea of a contest. If the listener sends me a screenshot of Anthony in the crowd at the Super Bowl, I will send you some Jock and Nerd stickers. Jock and Nerd. How about that? It's a fun game we can play.
Good luck.
It could happen. They
Photoshop me in.
might get you in an ISO with they're looking for good looking people in the crowd. You know, like put it on the big screen.
I'm going to be in the cheap seats.
All right, I don't know. Maybe it'll be
But-
tiny.
They're not cheap, but they're cheap in comparison to everyone else.
The nosebleeds.
Oh yeah,
Oh boy. Well, you're there. That's the important thing.
yeah.
We're going to get a story out of it. That's all we know.
Yes, we want a story. Ruggs, has
Yeah.
Jared Leto texted back yet?
No.
Okay,
He hates
moving
you.
on then. Fuck him.
He already hates you.
Maybe I did the wrong number.
Okay, well, you want me to repeat the number?
You're going to have to.
213-335-2223. Everyone text him to listen to the Jock and Nerd podcast. And we could say hi, Jared Leto.
335
We bashed you a lot.
We hope you come on the show so we can bash you.
213-335-2123.
213-335-2223. Yes, you are the worst Joker, but you may be a decent Morbius. So that's
There we go.
Okay.
That's something.
Maybe I think I texted the wrong number.
You son of a bitch.
I wrote, hi, Dick.
Oh, no.
No one.
No wonder he didn't respond.
That's
He hates
not
you.
what he wants people to text him. What's the matter with you?
right, let's
Birds of Prey will be coming out later this week. The show posts. Anybody
Geek boner.
getting
Wait,
excited?
this week?
Well, the show comes out on the week the show posts. Yeah,
Oh, so next week.
next week. A week from.
Oh, well, yes,
yeah.
you're right.
It's,
The week the show
it's
posts.
all fucking time shit.
It's fucked up. Yeah.
But if listeners listening to the show, the week it comes out, this is the week Birds of Prey, February
Yes, I
7th.
understand.
They had a premiere in London, and there are first reactions like they do on the interwebs, and they seem to be kind of positive, drawing comparisons to Deadpool and John Wick. I like both of
Oh
those.
shit.
So I feel like I'm kind of getting excited for this. Did you guys see any of these instant reactions?
You know, I'm going to avoid them.
Yeah.
I want to go into this movie
All right.
blank. I already have my negative preconception, so I'd love for this movie to turn me around.
It's R-rated. We've already talked about in the trailer how she's like their Deadpool. Like we already called that, so that makes sense. But the John Wick part gets me kind of excited if it's like crazy contrived fucking action.
All right, this is what I sent.
Okay.
I said, hey, dude, is it really you? And then, like, as soon as I sent it, immediately, so he couldn't have texted this.
It's an
Yep.
autoresponder.
It says, boo, it's Jared Leto. Yes, it's really me. Click this link to add yourself to my contacts so I can text you back.
Wait, but he did answer your comment. So that's somebody read that.
I think a lot of people ask if it's really.
You think that's one of the canned ones they
It's
program
interesting.
to pick up?
Yeah.
In? Is this like
Might
a
have an algorithm for
No,
different
I'm going to send
responses.
them another message. How big is your dick? If they have
this may be like this last season in Silicon Valley where Guilfoyle invented an AI Guilfoyle and Dinesh. And you may just be
Nah,
talking.
it's definitely, dude, it came right. As soon as I sent it, it was like immediately like the next thing.
That's fun.
There's no way that even the best texter can text it that fast.
Imran's response is, that's fun.
That's fun. We have an AI Jared Leto we can tweet away to.
I'm pretty sure it's not really him.
It's probably just to get people interested in seeing a movie that nobody cares about or knows anything about at all.
Sure.
You know.
Absolutely.
So,
He's got to do what he can
they
to
gotta
market
do
this
something.
movie.
Hey, he's trying.
Back to Birds of Prey. If the DC subscribers of the DC Universe app, you would have gotten an email by now to where you could see early screenings taking place in 30 cities across the U.S. on the 4th and the 5th.
Well, they have an embargo going.
What? For reviews?
Yeah.
Well, there's social media things. The review embargo is not lifted, but it's a nice little perk with this DC Universe app before they shut it down that they like, hey, you can see the movie early.
How do you see it early with the
They're
DC?
going to send an email on the 31st of January.
Oh, did you already say this?
Yes. You
Got it.
people, and by the time the show posts, people have gotten that
we
email.
will get one.
Yes, we will get one. So either the 4th or the 5th, but I don't know if we're going to see it. I don't know. Depends.
I'm going to see it next week.
Yeah, we'll see it when it comes out. Do we?
When does it come out?
February
Next-
7th,
Next Friday?
next Friday.
I will definitely see it, and
This-
we'll review it the week after.
This Friday when the show posts. Next Friday to us. Yes, and we'll have the review the following week, a week later.
All right.
Sure.
Perfect.
I will watch it.
Speaking of watching things, Ruggs, last night, after 8 seasons and 170 episodes, Arrow on the CW verse quietly aired its last episode.
Wow.
Very quietly. In fact, it was so quiet that the ratings dropped from the episode below. Didn't even hit 1 million viewers. They're saying it pulled in 723,000 viewers, which is pretty low.
No one gives a shit.
No one.
This is what happens when you kill something that was actually good at one point.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I watched it. It was fine. It was all right. They did one cool thing that you've probably seen all over the
What'd they
internet.
do?
I'm going to do
Spoil it.
I'm going to do spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
At the very end, there's like a whole funeral and there's flashbacks and you see Stephen Amell. But at the very end, Diggle's getting into his truck and out of nowhere, this bright meteor craft comes crashing down on the earth, blowing him back against the truck. He gets up, he walks over. There's a box. He picks up the box. He opens up the box and there's a green glow emanating from the box.
Geek boner. Oh shit.
And then it cuts right there.
Oh, so he's an
Got the good
Lantern.
weed. That's what.
He got some fucking chronic, dude. He got some.
So was,
damn-
Oh shit.
Was Oliver Queen buried with a salmon ladder or no?
no, he
They
wasn't.
didn't bury it with
No,
him?
actually, they even mentioned there was no body. They just put mementos in the
Oh.
casket because he died on. Where it was on another universe. Everything changed, right? And everything merged. So there's no body after Crisis.
I mean, it is the show that started
Yeah.
a revolution
It's
in
got a
terms of
legacy.
CW and superhero on TV.
It was an anchor for the show for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, they waited until the end of the first season to like put him properly in the costume. They, it was Batman light. It started the whole formula of these shows when you had Felicity and Diggle and Oliver
all
and
the
team.
good things and all the
And all
the bad things
the bad
eventually.
things. Yeah. But
You could just see the not giving a fuckness start, and then it just trickled out to everything else in the Arrowverse.
I do maintain. I think I said this when we reviewed the Crisis, but seasons 1 and 2, especially 2 with
They were good.
Deathstroke, were really good.
yeah,
So I owe a decent. I owe a good amount of hours to that show. So
absolutely.
I don't feel sentimental about it,
Yeah.
but
I think
That's
it
what it
was
is.
once a good show,
Yeah.
and then it just, went on too long and lost its north.
It definitely has its place in comic book TV history and what it started. Now, what I find is interesting, I found this article in Cinema Blend. Now that Stephen Amell is done with the show, he surprisingly candid remarks about how he felt the show ended up, how the crossover went on a podcast with Michael Rosenbaum, who Ruggs best Lex Luthor ever.
That's right.
His Michael Rosenbaum's podcast is called Inside of You.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yes, it's hot.
Excuse me.
That's hot.
Geek boner.
Inside of You. Stephen Amell made some very, very candid comments. Listen to this. He says, in the first episode of the crossover that has already aired, my character dies, and he's dying on a gurney in the Arrow bunker. Some of my lines are to Kat McNamara, to Katie Lotz, and to Grant. We're trying to wrap Katie and Grant because they had hit their 13-hour mark, or whatever it was. They were trying to wrap Katie and Grant before I shot coverage of the scene where I died. I blame no one for this, but this is a scene with me from Arrow that's taking place on Supergirl with the Supergirl crew with demands on both Grant and Katie Lotz, who are on Flash and Legends, who are on a different schedule than the crossover because they're shooting different shit and they're trying to pull them so they don't screw up Flash and Legends. Meanwhile, the fucking Green Arrow is laying on a gurney trying to deliver his lines to something other than a fucking tennis ball. I was like, damn, Stephen Amell, tell us how you really feel. Apparently, like, the scheduling for this was crazy and he had to deliver, like, they put tennis balls as placeholders because the people aren't all there at the same time. Basically, he thought that the crossovers, as the years went on, were screwing everything up and probably didn't die and leave the character the way he would have liked to, the way the legacy deserved.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that the crossovers were really, really not good. They didn't bring a lot to the table besides fan service, like little moments of the person popping in here or there.
Yeah.
And it was a huge waste of time and didn't really make anything better. In fact, it just overcomplicated things and make me go, I don't want to watch this anymore.
I mean, this is a show that started real gritty and grounded and then ended up having magic and metahumans and just got
It had a
fucking
lot
crazy.
going for it.
So this last quote's great. He goes, there are a lot of scenes where I'm acting and there just aren't actors there. And this is not an acceptable way of creating the best product from my perspective. I think it's a little disrespectful to actors and their process. Speaking generally, other actors
I
may
don't
not
know.
give
I
a
mean,
shit.
if fucking Anthony Hopkins was there, he'd fucking kill it.
Yeah, no matter.
No excuses.
No matter what.
He'll fucking act to a fucking pie. He doesn't give a shit.
That's right, Stephen Amell.
Fucking Sir Anthony Hopkins.
I like,
right?
it's true. He will kill everything.
Quit being a baby.
But I find it refreshing when these guys come out and kind of say,
I can't act to a green screen. Well, then don't fucking act.
God damn it, this is disrespect. I'm dying here. Someone? Anyone? No? Nothing? Fine. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
No, nobody cared. Finally, to close out the news portion, fellas, I want to talk about music a little bit.
All right.
Remember back in 2018, before Venom came out, Eminem drops this album out of nowhere, Kamikaze, with a song called Venom that's on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
You guys remember that shit and how crazy it was? It's a fucking song.
Was it crazy?
It was. It was because, look, this guy.
I've never even heard Venom, by the way.
It's all right.
I heard it one time.
It's okay, but there's great.
It took over the world, Imran.
No, the album Kamikaze did. There are some great songs.
There are some good songs
on
there.
that fucking album and great other artists. Well, 2 weeks ago, fucking Eminem does it again.
Oh, shit.
No, coming soon, no teaser, releases his 11th studio album, goes straight to number one. The 10th album for him to go straight to number one. And it's called Music to Be Murdered By. And there's so many fucking fascinating, interesting things about this. First of all,
That's kind of morbid.
it's morbid. The title of the album actually references an album by Alfred Hitchcock in 1958, also called Music to Be Murdered By. And he actually has some Alfred Hitchcock clips on the album. The image he uses is the same image Alfred Hitchcock uses. If you click this link, you can see the comparison. He's got an axe to his head on one side and a gun to his head on the other side. Alfred Hitchcock did exactly the same thing in 1958. On that album, there's a couple of really great tracks on here that I think are going to be huge. He released one called Darkness that has a video that's actually about the Las Vegas shooting.
I did see that video.
Dude, he's rapping from the point of view of the shooter, but also as himself and showing the parallels with him and the shooter going back and forth. His fucking double entendres, his wordplay, his flow. This album, I've been listening to it over and over again. It's what the kids call fire.
Whoa.
It's pretty much fire. Now, the other great song,
That's fire.
Fire. There's another song called Stepdad, where it's just about him killing his abusive stepdad.
Oh, shit.
That's the whole song. And then the big one that's really blowing up for him, that's a huge hit right now. I'm telling you, this is going to be in the clubs. And it ties into the show. It's called Godzilla.
Geek Boner.
Whoa.
Featuring the late Juice WRLD.
What?
Rug Boy's
Get the
response.
fuck out of here.
Whoa!
You guys know Juice WRLD. Anthony, do you know Juice WRLD?
I've heard the name. I don't know if I might have heard.
He's even too new for you, is he?
That's
Yeah.
his name?
Juice
His name's
WRLD.
Juice WRLD, yeah.
I did
I
think
thought it was a store.
Yeah, I did think it was an Orange Julius kiosk in the mall. But no, he was 21. He passed away recently of a seizure. Apparently, very talented rapper. He sings the hook.
Oh, very bad at making his own name.
He sings the hook on Godzilla. So that's huge because he's got a lot of fans. So they were like, I can't believe Eminem paired up with Juice WRLD. The beat on Godzilla is amazing. And then in the
Does he use any kind of Godzilla beat?
no, but he mentions Godzilla right in the beginning.
I see. Come on.
So it's kind of like
Make a
Venom.
Fubi in
I don't
there.
know why it's called Godzilla. They're comparing
Can't even say
themselves
his name right.
to monsters when they go partying and how they could be monsters and party and go crazy.
If Kubier? I don't know.
But Kabube?
I don't know.
What is going on?
The guy who writes the Godzilla music.
What's the Japanese pronunciation on that?
I don't know.
If what? Wait, what's his name? Ifukubi?
I don't know. I'm guessing. I can't remember.
Wait, let me Google it real quick.
I remember words in my head and then I try to say them and then they're always wrong.
Akira Ifukube, yeah.
Oh,
We need like a quick Bilotti cut in where
we
he
need
just says it.
somebody
Yeah.
to pronounce this.
He's yelling right now. His foot is up, raised
It's
above.
Ifukube, you
And
bastards!
he's got his knee with ice on it and he's yelling.
So the word Godzilla is in the refrain too that Juice WRLD sings. But dude, the last like 40 seconds of this fucking song, he breaks his own Guinness World Record for fastest rap song. Previously, it was the song Rap God. There's a portion in that song where he's just fucking rapid fire. It's amazing. The end of Godzilla, new world record, has him spitting a total of 229 words in just 30 seconds. That's 7.6 words per second. That's 11.3 syllables per second. This is faster than Rap God, and you listen to it.
Can we hear a little bit of it?
No, we can't because
We'll get taken off
Copyright?
YouTube.
yeah, but you know what I don't understand? I've been watching all these reaction videos of people listening to the song and playing it on YouTube. How the fuck do they get away with it?
I don't know. Let's not try it.
I don't, because this is going to be on Spotify and like YouTube flags fucking content. I've been told not to do it, but It's on Spotify, listener. I'll put a link to it. Listen to the end of this, and
All
you
right.
will have brain damage.
Let me do an impression of it. It sounds like this.
It's very similar. It's very similar. Here's the thing.
The monsters, under the band of monsters, under the bit of the gods, little plaster pastors.
You know what's funny about that? Remember Chris D'Elia making fun of him?
That's what I'm saying.
At the end of the song, he references the Chris D'Elia video. He goes,
All right.
"This is what I'm planning." He has callback, dude. He has callbacks to Machine Gun Kelly. He's got disses to Cardi B, Puff Daddy, Nick.
We're very excited about
Dude,
this.
it's so great. And Nick,
You're putting the hard sell on this
Nick Cannon, for some reason, put out 3 diss tracks for Eminem. I'm like, Nick Cannon, what the fuck? What are you doing, Nick Cannon?
Get the fuck out of here.
You cannot. This man showing you on this album, he is still the fucking greatest. He has no plans to retire. He's still the fucking best, dude. And he is. He just demonstrated that he's a fucking. His writing is great. He's amazing. Like, it blew me away. The album's great. I give it 5 stars.
Do you like it, Imran?
It's all right.
I haven't figured this out yet.
It's all right. I love, though, that he just drops this out of nowhere. And then boom, it's fucking everywhere. And he doesn't even need any fucking advertising. Check it out. I put links in the show notes and you guys didn't listen to Godzilla. I thought you would listen to the song at least called Godzilla.
I mean, it really has nothing to do with
No,
Godzilla.
it doesn't. It doesn't.
If I knew, look, if I'm talking to a bunch of Godzilla guys and they don't mention it, that means it's probably not worth listening.
That song is fire. Trust me, listener.
I mean, I mean, it's Eminem. I'm going to hear it eventually. Someday I'm going to have my radio on the wrong channel.
Fucking Slim Shady is.
I'm going to hear it.
This guy listening to the radio, Jesus Christ.
Slim Shady is back. Never went anywhere.
I get one of them transistor radios that you got to tune
On
in.
the AM, you got to turn the dial.
That's right.
Fucking
You got
move-
static and
Move
shit.
the antenna. Remember when you had to do that?
Yeah, you got to move the antenna.
You had to scroll. You had to keep scrolling. Scroll the dial. now whatever you want, you just play it. It's like, I want to hear this.
You literally can play whatever the hell
Just
you
go
want.
on Spotify and just write a song in there, and here it is.
It's wild. All right, let's take a break here. Play some promos. We're going to come back and get into the world of bar bouncers with our review of Roadhouse right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Eric,
And I'm Aisla.
and together we are the hosts of the Bicurian podcast.
Bicurian is our answer to the polarizing culture we live in.
Tired of feeling under siege and looking for ways to get involved? Then come be a part of a different way of thinking.
Everything from politics to geek culture to current events that polarize us as a society. We explore multiple ways of looking at things. Please check us out at bicurian.com and follow us on your favorite social media platform of choice.
Crisis for the geek kind. Top geek officials admit they underestimated the hipsters' defense capability. Join the geek revolution and save the galaxy. Geeks from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future. They're doing their part. Are you? Want to know more? Join We Be Geeks and the Geek Revolution and save the world. Service guarantees citizenship. Listen to We Be Geeks podcast on iTunes and Stitcher or online at WeBeGeeks.net. We Be Geeks, your voice for the Geek Revolution. Want to know more?
And
Listener, if you enjoy the show, consider joining our awesome fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon, where you get stickers, you get t-shirts, and you get access to a bonus podcast feed with bonus content. Jock and Nerd. Extra stuff that's only available on our Patreon feed. For example, we do have a sports program. It is called a program. It is a very good sports program called Jock Talk with Anthony.
It's a very good sports program. Nice.
Very ethical and critically acclaimed, I believe.
Yes, won many
yes,
awards.
The ESPN loves it. Hosted by Anthony and Chaz.
Their bottom is very weak.
So you mentioned, Anthony, you're talking more about Kobe Bryant on this week's Jock Talk.
Kobe, Super Bowl preview, Conor McGregor, a whole bunch of shit.
Only on Patreon. Also, all the shows come out there early. So this show comes out early. The spinoff show comes out early. And I want to recommend the listener listen to the most recent spinoff show because I think it has the best guest ever on the spinoff show, Anthony.
Is it you, Imran?
It is.
Oh, shit.
We're talking about floating around naked in salt water.
You did that.
Yeah, we did. We were naked.
Shit, I might listen to that.
We were floating, and first time experience for both of us.
Did you feel anything?
I may have. Somebody tickled me. I don't know who it was.
Imran always feels something.
He definitely felt something. I don't think I felt the things Imran was feeling.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to spoil it. Go back and
I
listen.
think he just masturbated.
What do you think I was? What do you think I was floating
Imran's
on?
like, I'm alone in here.
Let me
I
see.
can feel my penis.
It was a trip, man.
How long were you in there?
60 minutes.
We did an hour, yes.
Oh, you definitely did it. You can be naked in that thing without masturbating.
The only way to find out, listener, is to listen to the spin-off show, in which I reveal whether or not I sullied the float tank. But it was what the
this didn't cross your mind, Anthony, at all.
It did until now.
Yeah, that's the first thing. I'm like, that's what he's doing.
We're late on our dick joke this week, but we got there. Also, if you give us $10 a month, then you can force us to pick any god-awful or really good movie to watch and review for the show at the $10 tier, and that's what we're going to be doing now. We burned out a bunch of them. We have, after this one, we have 2 more in round 1, and then if you give us $10 a month for more than a year, you can pick another movie, so we'll be moving on to round 2 very shortly. jockandnerd.com/Patreon to get in on all this goodness. But for now, we are going to review the movie Roadhouse from 1989.
Ooh, the last of the 80s.
The last of the 80s. Here's your spoiler alert for a movie that's 31 years old.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This one sponsored by, dedicated to listener and Patreon supporter Jesse Rodriguez.
Hello, Jesse.
Hi, Jesse. Thank you very much for your pick. He has been a patron for 17 months, so thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
For your patronage. He gets another pick. I think he may have sent it in already. I don't know.
Definitely.
Jesse, you get another pick. This movie on Rotten Tomatoes, sitting at a whopping 37% tomato meter with an average rating of 5.06 out of 10. Audience score 66% for whatever that's worth. I forget what the budget of this movie was. It was in the Wikipedia. It may have been, Yes, it was $15 million. Budget of $15 million. This movie ends up making $30 million worldwide. Doubles its money in 1989. That's not bad for an R-rated 80s movie, I suppose.
Right.
This movie stars, of course, Patrick Swayze, directed by a dude named Rowdy Harrington.
Did he direct anything else?
He is known for nothing else. Pretty much nothing else. He has 9 credits.
It's got to be like a fake name.
He did this. Remember Gladiator from 1992? With
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yes, Cuba Gooding Jr. was the lead. That's bad when that's your lead. Not a good thing.
I would throw in though.
Yeah.
Produced by Joel Silver, which is a name you guys should
The
be.
Matrix.
Oh, it's a Joel Silver joint.
He did a bunch of action movies and here's some of the movies on his list.
Yeah.
For those that don't know. 48 Hours.
Wow.
Commando, Lethal Weapon, Predator, Die Hard, both the sequel to Lethal Weapon and Die Hard, Predator 2, Last Boy Scout, Demolition Man, Richie Rich, Lethal Weapon 4, The Matrix.
Wow.
All the Matrix movies, V for Vendetta, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. What else here? Project X, Sherlock Holmes. So he's a big time producer.
Huge in the
big time
80s.
action producer.
Yeah, action.
Huge in the 80s, 90s,
and
for
90s.
sure.
Absolutely. So starring Patrick Swayze as Dalton, just one name, Kelly Lynch, Sam Elliott as Wade Garrett, Ben Gazzara as the bad guy Brad Wesley, Marshall Artigue as Jimmy, and then a couple other guys, Red West, other character players that you don't know their name, but you've seen their faces, like this dude Kevin Teague, who plays Tillman, the owner of the bar. Anyways, let's get into Roadhouse. I'm dying to know. Anthony, let's start with you.
Well, should I do the summary real quick?
Oh, yes. Do a plot summary. We absolutely need that for this movie.
So Dalton, played by Patrick Swayze, is a professional cooler.
Yeah, what is that?
So it's like a bouncer, basically, that runs the whole bar and makes
like
sure.
Head of security, basically.
Yeah. So he gets recruited by this guy from Missouri, Frank Tillman, to basically clean up his bar because he's investing a ton of money in this bar. Basically recruits him to clean up the bar, because it's bad shit happens every night. There's fights. People are doing thuggish things in the middle of Missouri. So he gets recruited to this town to clean up the bar, and he gets wrapped up by trying to clean up this bar. He gets wrapped up in a bad guy basically controlling the entire town, and he has to now deal with not only cleaning up this bar, but now just cleaning up the town. Is basically what it is.
The Double Deuce.
Yes, Double Deuce ends up dealing with a rich guy that is just evil.
Who kind of has a grip over the town.
Yeah, sticks his money, sticks his hand in everyone's goddamn pocket and squeezes it till it's goddamn.
And of course, on the way, he hooks up with the local doctor, who's very hot. Of course, gets the girl.
Right. Of course, it's all your 80s, 90s, early 90s action stuff.
Yes, it is. Had you ever seen this movie before, Anthony?
I have not.
Okay,
no,
let's start with your opening thoughts.
Sure.
Watching the movie.
I have not seen this movie. Yeah. I haven't really watched a ton of Patrick Swayze either. So, that being said, this movie is fucking ridiculous. This whole it is that era of movies where the guy comes to a foreign land and has to deal with everyone in that foreign land hating him, and it's rewritten with a bouncer going to the middle of Missouri to clean up a bar. But it's that same thing. Kickboxer was like that.
Yep.
Karate Kid Part 2. There's a ton of movies where these 80s, 90s action stars are basically in that situation.
I mean, it's like a
Western.
It's a classic Western setup.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right. So, but it's fucking ridiculous. I mean, it's a bar. People, there's this evil bad guy that's maniacally very, very brutal. There's weird bar fights. It gets really like people start killing each other for some reason. The ending is just ridiculous. The love story is very rushed. There's just tits in random scenes. It's literally everything. It's what Michael Bay would have done in the 80s, maybe. Gigantic explosions,
cocaine fueled creative minds.
Yes, it's a ridiculous fucking movie. I fucking loved it.
Okay, wait. I gotta go next because I know Ruggs has seen this, and I can't believe I have never seen this fucking movie.
Oh, you've never seen it?
No, and I'm surprised and shocked at myself because this is the quintessential epitome of a good, bad 80s fucking movie. This movie has everything. It's got throat ripping. It's got booby squeezing. It's got backroom fucking. It's got fight scenes. And I also really fucking enjoyed this movie. I had a great time. Like, it's so bad. It's
this
good.
Is the gem.
I can't believe I've
I'll
never
tell you
seen
why
it.
It's so good.
Ruggs, you've seen it multiple times.
Well, listen, I've seen this movie throughout my teenage years. I think it came out in 89. I was like a teenager at that time. And I think I might have seen it in the theater, like the shitty theater, the one that gets the movies like a month after they come out. Yeah. This is porn. This is what it is. It's pornography.
It's 80s softcore porn.
That is what it is. It's pornography because in the movie, Dalton walks in, every girl is like creaming their pants. They want to fuck him. Like, they'll just walk up to him and whip their tits out. And like he's like, there's no reason. They're just magnetized to him. Every guy thinks he's awesome. It's like wish fulfillment. It's like the only time like where like if you're delivering pizza and a girl just takes her clothes off and fucks, he was in a porn. And like, this is basically, it's porn. It's what it is. It's like, it's wish fulfillment of being a dude porn. Like, you walk into a bar, you're fucking the man, you're in charge, people listen to you. In fact, you're so dangerous and fucking bad that the fucking guy who's the really big bad guy who's rich, he's scared of you and he wants to fucking fuck with you. And then, no, you like, fuck you. And then it's just like the cock measuring. It's just tits. It's just women being treated like objects. It's a pornography. It's porn. And I love it.
Yeah.
Because, if you watch a porn or if there is a porn on, you're like fine with it. For some reason, like women just like throwing themselves at weird guys and just being degraded. But if it's in a movie, you're like shocked and aghast. How could they make this trash in the 80s? Well, you're still making porn now. People are still watching it. And that's why I think people like it, because this is like, yes, you go to the movies to like revel in fucking just ridiculous
It's
shit.
over the top.
Like, it's a
ridiculous.
fantasy. It's like,
yes, but
like,
it's entertaining.
It's an excess of fantasy
Yep.
and violence and of just debauchery and stupidity.
It's so fucking 80s.
It's almost comical.
Well, I would add, so to add on top of that, what appealed to me is, first off, I go out a lot. So I could kind of relate to like a shitty bar, sort of like this. I don't go to obviously Bumblefuck, Missouri, but I can relate to being at a bar, right, and having girls like look at you and being like, man, I wish they would all just droop, like just be draped all over me, like Dalton gets these girls, like no sweat. But what's great about it is, for me, is you can escape, so it's not at all realistic in terms of the way people are acting. No one would act like this. The girl falls in love with Dalton after basically bandaging his fucking ribs
right away.
Like,
it's smelling his armpit,
right? And the girl with the huge tits, that Julia Michaels, that does the little seductive dance, which was great. Immediately is smitten with him when he walks in. Like, so all the girls
I'm
love
gonna
him.
fuck this guy,
right? But like, so no one acts like a real human being. But what I like about it is it's not so over the top. Like, there's a part of your brain where you could go, maybe that could happen for me.
He's like,
maybe there's a world, like, it's not like space, it's not like monsters, it's not
that's the wish fulfillment.
The blood
part
and
of the
guts
movie.
aren't like so over the top, other than the throat ripping, but everything's like, maybe if everything turned out right, there's a world where this could happen.
Well, I'll tell you a couple of things I love about this world. It's a world where bouncers are celebrities. They're world famous. Everybody
People talk about them.
Everybody knows
You've heard of
Dalton.
them.
Everybody knows Sam Elliott's character, Wade Garrett. They're like, yo, that's Dalton. I love when the guy's like, the name is Dalton. And they're like, holy shit, you see that? That's fucking Dalton.
Thought you were bigger.
Oh, yeah, I love how he gets that. It's so great.
This movie is the most contrived, convenient movie that they ever made. Okay, so let's just break this down real quick. All right. So this dude finds Dalton at his job. It says convinces him to go down to his roadhouse.
Right away, he convinces him to leave his job and move to another
So
town.
he immediately
He
quits.
goes, yes, I'll do it. Like,
goes
like that.
down there, all right, goes to the bar, and then right next door to the bar is this auto parts store, which he's gonna have to get auto parts from because they're gonna fuck up his car. And then he gets an apartment that's right across the river from the main bad guy.
Of course, from the main bad
like
guy.
everything is so convenient. Like like the girl that is the niece of the guys that owns the auto shop that he has like this kind of partnership with.
Not only the niece, but she's the ex-girlfriend of the bad guy as well.
Brad Wesley was in the dock and he got jealous because they're fucking out in the open on the roof of the thing.
And I don't understand for the life of me why the bad guy in this movie didn't want Dalton to clean up that club. Like, he's not doing anything bad. Like, what he's doing has absolutely no bearing. You're not losing money.
No, he's making, making
business
more money.
has never been better, and he's gonna. If he takes a cut, he can take a cut of that money. Like, I don't know what's the problem.
Well, can I ask also why this bar needs to employ like fucking 8 bouncers? Like, do you really need that many bouncers?
Well, they were fucking shit up. You would have seen the beginning of that movie. Yeah.
There's a
People
lot
just like
of
to kill
bouncers.
each other.
$20 to kiss some titties. I thought that was a good deal. In the beginning,
one of the
and
things,
the girl's just like, yes, do it.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
absolutely.
Just like in a porn. Like, yeah, do it. Go ahead. Sure. Why not? I'm not going to say anything.
A little tie into Mr. Nanny for me, or just a wrestling reference.
Yeah.
So one of the bouncers is Terry Funk, who's a legendary wrestler. Right off the bat, he's the bad bouncer that gets fired right away.
Oh,
yeah.
And he's the bigger
interesting.
dude with the goatee and mustache.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you'd be bigger.
Yeah. There's some great cheesy lines. Dalton is like, he's Brad Taffer. He's Bar Rescue before Bar Rescue.
He's Brad Taffer, but also Jean-Claude Van Damme with his karate knowledge
with
or
his
his martial
Hapkido
arts
or whatever.
knowledge.
He's doing
What was that he was doing? He just made that shit up.
I think he was doing it's not Hapkido. It looks like he was doing kung fu forms.
Well, he's doing
or
Tai
kata.
Chi too at one point with shirtless, of course.
Of course.
He's
great.
Dude, and he's shirtless throughout this whole film. For no reason, in every scene, he just has no shirt
This is
on.
what I think they did because the movie Cocktail had come out a year before with Tom Cruise and Kelly Lynch, and it's another great cheesy 80s movie, but made bartenders like the stars, right? And they were like, hey, we need a movie about bouncers. We should make bouncers the stars, and I bet bouncers love this movie.
I loved this movie so much when I was a kid. I wanted to make like a sequel to it or like a reboot of it where it takes place in Las Vegas at like a casino, and they instead of hiring to do the Roadhouse, they hire him to be head of security at this like fucking rundown casino that they needed to fucking, fix up.
So there was a sequel that was about his son. And
straight to DVD.
Straight to DVD. And I heard that's not bad, but they were working on a remake with Ronda Rousey for a couple years. And they're not doing it anymore. But you know what really saves this movie, why it works?
What do you mean saves? It was great from the start.
No, it is great. There's something about Patrick Swayze.
He's got a charisma for sure. Even though he's very understated.
Yes.
He plays the role. He's obviously a stud, but he doesn't come off. Like, he doesn't try to act over the top. He's very, like, polite and respectful, and in the way he treats the other bouncers, you be nice.
That's the fucking great
you
scene.
Escort them and you be nice.
The hair does all the heavy lifting.
The
that
fucking
hair
mullet
is fucking like a god on
oh
its
my
own.
god, golden fucking mullet. Hey, dude, I found
He's great in
myself rooting for Dalton. The bad guys are such
Absolutely.
assholes. I was like, fucking get him, Dalton. Get him.
But wait, how great is the fact that his friend Sam Elliott also has great hair?
Yeah,
and he comes into the picture, and it's like a bro fest all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, he just shows up perfect, so convenient. He shows up as Dalton's getting beat up by four guys.
Yeah, so
he
he can
casually
save him.
walks out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun, and just starts beating up the guys with him. Oh my gosh, where are the police? Police don't exist in this fucking town.
They don't exist until the very end of the movie.
They drove a monster truck through a car dealership. Where are the cops in any of this?
Oh my! So, not to jump, just because the Rug Boy mentioned the end of the movie. How ridiculous is that fucking ending?
The end is fucking fantastic.
It's so crazy.
So the cops finally show up
at the very end.
At the very, very end. At this point, everyone that's been wronged by the main bad guy, Wesley, they're all old. They all decide at that point. Dalton kicks them down. The rest of the people in the scene all have shotguns and all blast fucking Wesley.
Well,
blast this motherfucker.
So
he is
shotgun
blown
shots.
to pieces in his house. Like, first of all, how did they get in the house?
Yeah,
he's blown to pieces. The cops show up, and the cops leave the scene because everyone goes, "I didn't see nothing. Did you see anything? Did you see anything? No, I didn't see anything." And the guy puts away the shotguns in front of them.
Calmly collects all the shotguns and takes them away. And they're like, we don't know what happened here.
And the cops don't do anything. And then they brilliantly cut to one last nude scene because it's an 80s movie.
And just before that, Dalton literally kills all the guys on Wesley's, all his henchmen. And then he stops at Wesley, when Wesley's the guy who killed fucking his best buddy Wade. He's an evil guy. He stops there, but he just killed everybody else.
Well, he wanted to prove to the girl that he's not a killer.
I'm not a throat ripper.
I was gonna say, so the whole crux of the girl and the guy, the main girl who falls in love with Dalton way too quick. Okay, but let's accept that. The crux of why they break up is because Dalton does something really vicious. He rips the throat out of one of the bad guys in front of her, and she is like, reacts like any person would. You're a fucking monster. I'm never going to talk to you again. And then Dalton proceeds, like you guys mentioned, to kill the rest of the bad guys. And she automatically just goes, you know what? You're not so bad. I'm going to get naked with you in the water.
You didn't rip his throat out.
This is your reward.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute. You just were appalled, and rightfully so, that this man ripped another man's throat out. Doesn't matter.
This is a movie where a shirtless Patrick Swayze tackles a guy off a motorcycle and rips his fucking throat out.
Why can we watch? A question I want to ask you guys is, how can we
Thanks
watch
for repeating
this
that,
movie?
Imran.
You have to.
How
It's
can
so
we watch
good.
this movie and enjoy it so much, even though it's so bad?
It's such shit, but it owns it. I don't know.
Are we? Is it maybe because we're missing something like the escapism?
Yes, of
maybe?
the 80s.
I think it's the escapism. Number one, for me, it's not of the. I grew up watching a lot of these movies, so it reminded me of those movies.
Yeah,
but also, like I mentioned, there's a part of you that wishes in life that you could be Dalton.
Wish fulfillment.
Especially as a man, you wish that you could be that guy that would walk into a fucking bar and own it right away.
It's that character. Girls want to be with him. Guys want to be him.
And the bad guys are so stupid yet so kind of evil.
Yeah.
And they don't stop. But as Imran mentioned, you root for Dalton.
Yes.
It's like, clean up that motherfucking bar. Know what? Clean that motherfucking city.
Clean up that whole town.
Yeah.
But this is peak Swayze. So this is Patrick Swayze after Dirty Dancing and before Ghost and Point Break. like the late 80s, early 90s, peak fucking Swayze. And there was just something about him that sold me on this whole movie.
I think a lot of it too is Swayze, as Imran mentioned.
Yeah, if you're gonna ever reboot this movie, you can't use The Rock.
Yeah.
Even though you'd think he's the go-to guy, because you need the whole point of Dalton is that he's got to be smoldering.
Yeah.
He's got to be a guy that the chicks dig, and that you know that he's gonna be like has that magnetism with girls. And I don't think The Rock really does that in any movie. I think that's one of the things he doesn't do.
I think The Rock is too physically there. Like it's too on the nose if you're like the guy that's trying to like cast someone that's everyone would love and he could kick everyone's ass. You're going to pick The Rock, right? But it's too on the nose. You like Swayze's great because he's like the line, I thought you were bigger.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, and
that's what you need.
Everyone,
you need
and he's
like
got
that.
like this like little dark past where he killed someone in the past.
Yep.
It's so ridiculous.
It's great. It's great.
But it works.
I mean, it's not. The script is horrible.
Yes.
Horrible.
I love the concept though. Like, see, the thing is, the script is like horrible, but I love the idea of like there's a guy that comes in and cleans up the town.
Yeah.
That's a Western.
Yep.
Like there's
Yep.
some fucking
New
drifter
sheriff.
rolls in.
New sheriff in town.
They even call him a drifter
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah.
Some drifter rolls in and decides, oh, fuck it, I'm not going to let this happen. And then he just kind of like stops his drifting and settles down there and fucking cleans up the place.
Well, it's also immersive because we all like that Western thing.
Yeah.
But they switch it on its head and put it in a bar. So it's a bouncer.
Instead of a saloon.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. I never thought a bouncer would be like something important. And then they make the bouncer
we're
the
gonna
guy.
make bouncers the stars.
The cooler,
Yes.
as it's called.
The cooler. I was like, what the fuck is this? But Ruggs, it's that thing you also talked about 80s movies is we just didn't question it. You just watched it and enjoyed it. And it would not make sense, but it didn't fucking matter.
Well, I watched these things when I was a kid. I had no idea what the fuck. I didn't know anything about movies. I just think they happened and then it was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the opening, literally right from the opening, when the rich guy, the bar owner, goes to New York, sees Patrick Swayze kicks the guy out, gets knifed on the arm, still doesn't fight him, just goes outside.
Yeah.
All right, guys, back inside. And literally right from there, and the guy tells him, hey, I need you to clean up my bar. It's fucked up. People's eyeballs are everywhere, blah, 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 blah. Right from that moment, I'm going, yeah, I want to see this guy clean up a bar.
Fucking Dalton.
How does he clean up? How is John Taffer from the 80s clean up this motherfucking bar?
Yep. And it took me back to the 80s. It took me back to like being a kid and watching these movies and just enjoying them. Even though
I was grinning the entire. I had to stop it a few times, but usually I stop these movies that I'm sometimes forced to watch, and I'm going, man, I really don't want to fucking restart this movie. This one, I was literally like, I gotta pee. Even if I had like a little inkling of a pee, I'd pause it and go, I don't want to be distracted at all. So I'd run over to the bathroom, pee real quick, put it back on. I was loving this fucking movie. I wish it was 5 hours.
Oh shit!
Listen, like I'm very psyched about this because I like this movie, and I was always a guilty pleasure.
Yes.
I was always embarrassed to talk about it, but I've brought it up to a lot of people that are like kind of guys in their like 30s and 40s, and they're like, "Yeah, I fucking love that movie." So that's what they're saying. That's what they say. So I'm like, we're all in agreement that this movie's terrible, but there's something about it that it's the wish fulfillment. It's the pornography aspect of it that, yes, women don't act like this, should not act like this in real life. And when we're watching a porn, we know, that they're going to throw themselves and just be objects. And in this movie, it's hilarious because it's so ridiculous. And he wins. He never loses. He's always winning, this guy.
He's always going to kick your ass.
The last scene when they're shotgunning this man, I was laughing hysterically.
Howling.
This is so fucking ridiculous. And the bear falling on the bad
falling
guy
on Tinker was great.
I forgot what Swayze's line was. It was someone like,
he goes, "Where were you?" He goes, "A bear fell on me."
Yeah, a bear fell on me. It was like,
it's a pretty fucking manly movie.
But it gets surprisingly violent. I didn't expect it to get that.
I didn't expect the throat rip at all.
And show a throat rip.
I just love that he can catch up with a motorcycle and then take him
fucking out.
The dude had at least like a fucking 100 feet on him on a motorcycle, and he somehow caught up to
I love he throws him in the lake, and he's like, "Wesley, fuck you," as he pushes him over. It's so crazy and great.
He drags him across the lake.
Yeah. I thought he was
and
going to
throws Wesley and then throws the dead guy makes him float closer to Wesley. But how that lake must be 3 feet deep.
It's a big lake. I thought he was going to take him all the way over there and drop him on his thing. And yeah, Brad Wesley does not go down. It takes 4 shotgun shots,
dude,
to take this guy down. It was fucking ridiculous.
They're blowing people's houses.
Oh yeah, everything is
up everywhere.
Yeah, things are exploding because Brad
Wesley, he I feel like that guy's been in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
He was pretty entertaining too. I was drawn to the fact
Ben
that
Gazzara.
I was drawn to his. I was drawn to his charisma of being the bad guy. I was like, man, fuck this guy, man. He thinks he can run this motherfucking town. Fuck him.
I wanted to remake this so bad, but I know it's never going to be as good.
It'll never be as good.
They're never going to have the tits in it. They're never going to. It's not going to have any of this stuff that makes just the whole wish fulfillment of just macho stuff. They're not going to do any of that. It's all problematic now, but it's fucking. It's an escape. It's
a
we know
great
it's
escape.
fake.
Yeah.
It's not real. Yeah. We know that we just think it's hilarious. When you watch a comedy, none of that stuff is real and you laugh at it. So it's just
I could see it is that movie that in the 80s before you would go out with your boys, you watch this, it gives you a little bit of confidence. You got a little bit of swagger.
Well, look,
and you go out.
When I was a young guy in the New York club scene, there would be fucking guys who could walk into a room and and women would throw themselves at them and they weren't even famous or anything. They were just guys that were in the scene that were there and they, whatever, maybe they had drugs, whoever, but that shit would happen.
I would agree. It's not entirely impossible for stuff like that to happen.
What were some of your favorite lines? It has amazing cheesy lines.
Oh, I used to fuck guys like you.
I used to fuck guys like you in prison, Jimmy. I was like, what is that? Is that an insult? What does that even mean? Why would you say that?
There's another one where Sam Elliott goes, she's way too smart to have an ass like that.
Yeah, she's got too many brains to have an ass like that. I love the guy hitting on the girl. He's like, hey, vodka rocks. What do you say we get nipple to nipple? I was like, does that work? And then I want you to be nice until it's not time to be nice.
I think
that whole part's great.
I think the dude that was filling up the girl's boobs was Patrick Swayze's brother.
Oh, yeah. Swayze's brother is in a lot of these things.
Yeah.
He always tags along.
He got the best part. The best bit part.
Also, I love Wade telling him, when a man sticks a gun in your face, you got 2 choices. You could die or you kill the motherfucker. And that's what happens.
One of the lines that stuck out, I'm paraphrasing it, but Dalton keeps calling the guy who's renting the place out Mister.
Yeah.
He goes,
oh, yes.
He goes, line. That's like, don't call me Mister. That's like putting an outhouse in a, or he's like, that's putting an elevator in an outhouse.
Yep, that's it.
Just don't belong.
It don't belong. So cheesy. There's a couple of crazy facts about this movie. For example, it's sad and also weird that both Patrick Swayze, Ben Gazzara, both die of pancreatic cancer within years of each other. Swayze in 06.
Well, Swayze, from what I read, a lot of that could be attributed to the fact that he's just a fucking chain smoker, which he smokes in every goddamn scene in this movie.
Yeah,
too.
He does, doesn't he? This movie made me want to smoke cigarettes too, because you see him smoke.
He's smoking it all the time.
Yes, he's just lighting another one.
You would never see that.
Also, he had a bum knee. He had hurt his knee on Dirty Dancing and worked through it. And then this one, he had to have fluid drained, it fucked his knee up, which prevented him. He was offered the part of Predator 2. He couldn't take it. It was too physical, but that was the best thing that could have happened, because what does he do? He does Ghost instead. That fucking skyrockets him later. Everybody did their own stunts. There was no stunt doubles in this movie.
Really?
Yes. Everyone did their own stunts in this movie. You are seeing everyone do that shit. I love the band. That dude, Cody, the blind guitar player. That's actually,
he is blind too.
Yeah. He's Canadian band, Jeff Healey. They were so good. The music was great.
Fun fact on top of that, some of the songs in the soundtrack, Patrick Swayze
sang 2 songs for the soundtrack to this film. They did an off-Broadway version. Somebody made an off-Broadway musical also.
Oh, yeah, I know about that.
Yeah.
The guy from The Last Dragon, I forgot what his name was, but he played Patrick Swayze.
Oh, really? Swayze was trained by kickboxing champion Benny Urquidez. And he held multiple black belts in several disciplines. So I think Swayze did know some martial arts. I don't know if he showed a lot of it in the movie, but
a little bit.
It was good enough.
Yeah, it was good enough.
I feel like if it was anybody but him, it would be a complete. He makes the movie. You know,
Absolutely.
if Van Damme was this guy, it would be
Or like
even
Steven
more ridiculous.
Seagal. Ill.
No,
Well, Van Damme has Kickboxer is basically this
That's
movie.
a good point. Yeah.
right.
None of the movie was filmed in Missouri, actually. At all.
That's not surprising.
And at one point, you see signs that point to Los Angeles freeway ramp, and there's like mountains in the back. And police actually use the "be nice" scene. They show it in retraining cops on how to handle a situation. They like to show that scene, and it's a great scene. Like so this guy who's a bouncer has a PhD in philosophy.
What? Get the fuck out of here.
What is going on? And so I like that he was like,
well, you can't do anything with that,
Yeah.
so you have to do bouncing.
but I like how that his philosophy is in his rules is like, just be cool, be nice until it's not time to be nice. Always be nice.
What if somebody calls my mama a whore?
Is she? Yeah.
I want you to be nice until it's time to not be nice.
I love that. He's like, I will let you know.
Take it outside. That's number one rule.
So how are we supposed to know when that is? You won't. I'll let you know. You are the bouncers. I am the cooler. All you have to do is watch my back and each other's and take out the trash.
So fucking
Shout out to
good.
the two of the women in here. What's
Kelly
their
Lynch?
names? Kelly Lynch and Julie Michaels.
Oh, Julie Michaels was Denise.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So Kelly Lynch was in Cocktail.
Fantastic.
Yeah, like see, like they don't do that anymore either.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
She's a doctor. There's no chance.
Well, you kind of like you get starstruck by these women, right?
Yeah.
They're just leaping out of the screen to you, like, you know, and they don't really do that anymore. Now they're covering everything up, and they're not reveling in it anymore. They're kind of like pushing it away. Like, it's very puritanical now. The movies that come out. They don't really linger. Like Michael Bay used to do this shit.
Yeah.
Like, right? You know, again, the first Transformers with Megan Fox. That was like the last of it, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly Lynch also that year did Drugstore Cowboy with Matt Dillon. It's a very good movie. I would recommend you guys check that out if you haven't seen it. But so Jesse Rodriguez, who picked this movie, he commented, he says, Patrick Swayze ages like fine wine in this movie. You have a so-called mysterious lead that everyone knows by his last name, flawless hair, martial arts, one-liners, over-the-top villain, monster trucks, and throat-ripping. What more could one ask for?
Geek boner.
Nothing. I submit to you, nothing more.
I really appreciate that Ruggs called that I would actually like this. I think we were picking a movie to review, and Rug Boy thought I would like this.
I mean, if you like Van Damme movies,
Oh yeah,
this is like
this is
a
better.
Van Damme movie, but like with like the macho-ness like turned up even more, like because it's like in the Van Damme movies, there's not as much animal magnetism and just ridiculous like over the top stuff,
Right.
and there is in this film.
Well, I mean, growing up, Van Damme, Seagal, Stallone, Bruce Willis, Wesley Snipes, Schwarzenegger, like those are all my guys. And this fits right in with all of those fucking movies.
It's Patrick Swayze, which
It's Patrick Swayze.
you know, you never
who
thought
I
of
always
him that
associate
way.
with Dirty Dancing. I never associated with something like
And
this.
Ghost. I'll tell you another great Patrick Swayze movie is called City of Joy from 1992, where it takes place in India and he's a doctor. He's very good in that movie. But, you know, he goes on to do 2 Wong Fu things for Everything Julie Newmar. And he's in 11-14. I mean, he was acting until 2009 when he did pass away. So he just has this presence. I was like, man, there's something about Swayze.
His hair.
He was in Donnie Darko too. I forgot. It's his hair. He was the dad in Darko. All right. Well, you guys want to rate the movie? What would you give this movie, Anthony?
So if I'm being like realistic about the movie, right?
Yeah.
Like if I was being objective, I'd probably give this like a 4, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to throw that out the window.
Go ahead.
This movie is an 8.5.
Oh shit.
I fucking love it.
Oh my God. Yes.
I think it's great. And I'm sticking with an 8.5. It has, as we talked about, the movie's entirely ridiculous, but there's just something about this movie where it just wrapped me in, and I was enjoying the ride the entire time. And by the end, as we've mentioned, I wanted to be Patrick Swayze.
Listen, it makes you laugh. It makes you cry.
8.5. I'm sticking with it.
8.5. I even think
Those reviewers all are wrong. Everything is
Fuck the
wrong. Everyone that
critics.
says this movie is bad does not know how to have a good time.
Look, I'll even give him the way they set up Wade, Garrett, and their friendship. Like, when he got killed, like, I was like, oh, no, not Wade. Get those motherfuckers, Dalton.
And he immediately, he takes the knife.
Yes.
He
pulls
out
it
of the
out.
dude.
Yes.
And then he just goes on a killing
And
spree.
kills everyone. I wish
Yeah, he was
takes
about to
his
leave.
car-
He was about to leave town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he ends up. He should have fucking ripped out Brad Wesley's throat. That's what I say.
Oh, shit.
Ruggs, what
Man.
number would you give this? That's an
Oh my God.
amazing
This-
score from Anthony.
Look, if I'm going to be objective too, this movie the script is beyond horrible. I mean, the conveniences, how everything just conveniently is like, it's just like bad movie writing 101. Like, there's no subtlety to it at all.
No.
It's just trash, but it's the kind of trash that I love. It's porn. It's what it is. It's porn. Like, when you watch porn, you're not going to go, hey, I want it to be good plot and really good writing. You just want to see some boobs. And so this is 80s porn. It's 80s action movie porn. It's like action, fucking violence, boobs, fucking macho-ness, just fucking rock and roll music.
Yep.
It's all that shit. It's dirty. So if I'm going to rate it on that and the fact that I'm escaping from my shitty life.
Yes.
And putting myself in the air of Dalton and like what he can do and how women just throw themselves at him. And in a world where just like shit like that happens, I want to be in that world. I'm going to give it like a 7.5.
Nice. This is why I want to get into Rotten Tomatoes, because I want a review to be, if you like porn, you'll love Roadhouse. Ding. That's going to be the review.
I mean, yeah.
I surprisingly enjoyed this movie more than I thought. I can't believe I'd never seen it. And for sheer 80s cheese enjoyment level, I was thinking like a 7, actually, the lowest out of all of us. But I really enjoyed this movie. And I watched like the end of it again because it was so ridiculous. And Patrick Swayze is dreamy. What can I say?
It's like, it's a much better experience than it is a movie.
Yes.
Mm.
And your mileage is going to vary if you're a person that loves that type of shit, or if you're a person that's appalled by violence and chauvinistic behavior and women getting treated like objects. You're going to hate this fucking movie.
Absolutely.
If you're like a dude who's like really a feminist at heart, you're going to hate this movie.
Yeah.
I can't see many girls really enjoying this movie.
No, they'll turn their nose up at this immediately. Unless they're like into seeing Patrick Swayze's ass, which they do manage to
You get a good shot of that.
So, shirtless Swayze, that's there for you girls if you want it.
I miss the 80s. I think, you think like a 15-year-old kid would get this movie if they watched it?
Yeah, this is a 15-year-old. I mean, it might be a little dated for a 15-year-old, but the right mindset, yeah. This is a teenage. I would have loved this. I mean, I loved it now, but I would have loved it as a teenager.
Imagine, yes, when you're like 15. But I think Rugg said it best. It's an experience. It's a good bad movie. That's an experience.
It is everything you want as a teenager. A stud guy that can fucking do kung fu, beat everyone's ass,
get the girl
just by acting like himself. Yeah. And he's not like a cocky asshole.
No.
This is everything you would want to be.
You can calmly walk away. And it's just like the perfect fucking 80s. It epitomizes what the 80s were.
I think Anthony's been robbed of this his whole life.
Yeah. Why have I not seen this?
Imagine he would have seen this movie growing up. It probably would have
It would have changed your life, Anthony. It would have been something entirely different. Good pick, Jesse Rodriguez. We
Thank you so much.
Yes. Pick another one. That's a good just like that. But thanks for turning us on.
Finding another gem that we haven't seen.
This is a great gem to get turned on to Roadhouse. So very good. All right, let's do some news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation. Good. Hey, listener, join our Facebook group, Talking Nerd Nation. I'll read your name. I'll read your comments. You get to be part of the show. You guys, last episode, as we discussed, I was out, and you guys asked for feedback on how you did, and we got some Talking Nerd.
Oh, shit.
Oh, did we? Roberto Rivera says 5 minutes into the latest episode on Patreon, and it's gold. So what? Okay, good. Positive. So far, so good.
Okay. I'm taking
Wes Cranford, Yank from Down Under, says, nice work, you two. It must have been killing him. Also glad to be back to old intro. Good call, Ruggs.
Yes.
I was on Amazon and started the 80s movie Death Stalker. I'm here to tell you it was worse. I could only watch the opening scene. Worst piece of trash I've ever seen.
Why is he talking about Death Stalker?
I don't
Did he
know.
bring that up?
Did he pick that movie? Did you pick that one, Wesley? Are you giving us $10 a month? I don't know.
I don't know.
Have you seen that?
I've seen minutes of it. Yes, I've seen. There's boobs in it.
There you go.
I can tell you. There's uncomfortable boobs.
Oh, awkward boobs is
just like they're very gratuitous. Like in Roadhouse, for some reason, it's gratuitous, but it's like this is just like unnecessary boobs, I guess.
Okay,
it's just
Hey, get them how you can get them. Yeah. Fiddlesticks Winterbottom the Third says, Tony and Ruggs, you guys did a good job on your own. You made the movie sound so batshit crazy that I might have to watch it just to see David Johansen hamming it up. Oh, shit. Of course, talking about the nanny. This was no nanny.
Mr. Nanny.
Mr. Nanny. Oh, not the Fran Drescher show. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
John Campbell says, great to hear complete thoughts and sentences from the guys without a gigantic vagina interrupting.
Whoa, Imran.
All joking aside, get well soon, Imran. We expect your Mr. Nanny review soon. Why is it bad to be a vagina? Think about it. It's a strong muscle. Everybody wants to get in there.
I just don't know why they would label you with that.
It makes people. These are all good things. So I'll take it as a compliment.
Put a good spin on it.
Ralph Bravo says, at the gym listening to the podcast, laughing my ass off at the movie review, and just a bit bummed Imran couldn't review, but awesome still. It was his pick, Ralph's pick. In my defense, it was my favorite as a little kid, and I did say y'all could have reviewed The Sandlot if you wanted a great movie. We like talking about shitty movies.
I enjoyed reviewing Mr. Nanny. I'll say that.
And so as far as my thoughts, you guys pretty much covered everything. There's not much I can add except for the fact that this movie, the one thing this movie, Mr. Nanny, gives us is possibly the most evil, psychopathic, shitty kids I've ever seen in a movie. Just insane, evil, violent children. They were going for Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone and ended up with Macaulay Culkin from The Good Son. Oh, shit. What happened? But yeah, you guys did a good job. There's nothing more. It's a really bad movie. Brian Goff asks, anyone else watching this 2 episodes in? It's pretty damn good. He is talking about this new show on HBO called The Outsider.
Is that the one with Jason Bateman?
It is with Jason Bateman and Ben Mendelsohn, based on a Stephen King story. I have watched the 4 episodes that are out. It is pretty good. Okay. It presents itself kind of as a murder mystery crime thriller, kind of like The Night Of or a True Detective. But then the first episode, there's like a drop maybe of something supernatural. Then the next one is a few more drops. And by the 4th episode, you're like, what the fuck is going on? They slowly introduce this supernatural element. And the show it's one of those things where you're like, they got this guy for murder, but they got him over here. What's going on? How is this possible? It's pretty good. It's a good mystery. Ben Mendelsohn's great.
You let me know if it's really good.
I'd check it out. 4 episodes so far. Also, check out, there's a new show called Avenue 5 on HBO. It's a comedy about a space cruiser, like a cruise ship in space, with Hugh Laurie from House, and Josh Gad is in it. It's kind of weird. It's kind of funny. And new Curb Your Enthusiasm season is fucking phenomenal, as always.
I haven't seen that yet. I'm gonna have to
cringeworthingly.
Have you guys
awesome.
watched The Circle on Netflix?
No. What? It's like a social media reality game show.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Is it good?
I don't know. I've heard things. I've heard that, like, I don't know. If anybody's watching it in our fans, let us know.
I need them to release another season of that fucking rap show with Cardi B and fucking T.I. Rhythm and Flow. That shit was great.
All right.
I want to see more of that.
Okay.
Anthony, does any of these shows pique your interest for HBO?
I mean, I always enjoy Curb Your Enthusiasm.
So
I never really followed it religiously, but whenever it's on, I laugh the entire fucking
JB
show.
Smoove is on from the beginning, and he's fine.
I will fully admit that while you were talking about some of these other things, I was texting.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me tell you about Tony, all right? Tony ruins lives.
Finally, David Zika has a comment. It says, support the Jock and Nerd podcast. He writes, I'm developing a new project, and to raise some funds, I will be discounting some of my comic books. So let me jump in. He sells comics on eBay under Zika's Viral Comics. He says, if you message me before you pay and mention the Jock and Nerd, I'll take 10% off the purchase price, excluding shipping. On top of that, 10% of your after discount purchase price will be donated to the Jock and Nerd podcast. You must message me before paying to get the discount. In honor of our favorite Spidey fan, Imran, I have listed a CGC 8.5 issue of Amazing Spider-Man number 48. So he started this bid at 99 cents. I do offer combined shipping, so you can save even more. He starts his book at 99 cents. This book, which is a great book, it's The Vulture, issue 48. It's up to $201 with 2 days left to purchase. But he's got some good books. And this project he speaks of, I'll have more on that a little bit later. I may be helping him out a little bit.
Oh, wow.
So, yes. There's some fun stuff.
You giving away your comics, Imran?
I am not giving away my comics. Never.
You're selling them?
No. But I like Zika's idea. So follow all those instructions. Let him know. Buy some of his comics. Help him out. And he'll be helping us out. Good stuff. And that's about it. A final announcement. Anthony, you mentioned this last week, but we're going to keep repeating it because people need to hear things multiple times to remember it.
Yes.
C2E2.
Yes, we will be there.
February 28th
R2D2?
through March 1st. R2D2.
Oh, C2E2. That's a convention.
Well, the biggest comic book convention in Chi-Town.
Oh.
February 28th, March 1st. This one is in McCormick Place. So it's in a different part of the town with that normally where we go to Rosemont conventions. But I think we'll be there on the Saturday. Anthony, what do you think? Right? Mostly?
Yeah, definitely the Saturday. Yeah, we'll be there. If you're in the Chicagoland area, maybe we can say hello.
I will be interviewing people. I know Boss Logic is going to be there again. Dope Pope, I will get Dope Pope on. We'll talk to some people. Jim McPike is he's gonna be there. He's buying a badge to come be our intern again. We had a lot of fun at Ace Comic Con. So it's a big show. It's one of the best if you want go to one in Chicago. Come on Saturday. We'll hang out. We'll have a little meetup, something.
Absolutely.
We got press credentials when they have denied us press credentials.
I know. This was a big moment.
This was a big one. This was a big deal. So I'm very excited. And finally, we need more Apple Podcast ratings. We are up to 110, trying to get to 200. The reason being, once we get to 200, I reapply to Rotten Tomatoes to be official movie reviewers.
Oh, shit.
Rotten Tomato critics, they want 200 ratings. We're 90 away. So if you have an iOS device in the U.S., you are surrounded by family and coworkers that leave their phone on their desk unattended. Just fucking grab that shit. Everyone has.
It only took us, like 5 years to get 100?
Well, yeah. Look, when we started this, we were at like 87. So how long has it been? I don't know. It's not bad.
We'll keep trying.
We're going to keep going. Get us to 200. Rugs, where can the listener find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy. So just come check it out.
Anthony, have fun at the soup or bowl. Personally, I always pick soup.
Is it this Sunday?
Yes, it is.
It is this Sunday.
Do you think we'll see a Godzilla trailer trial?
Oh, so speaking of that, I did read an article where a lot of studios are not running commercials because it's too fucking expensive. The price went up to like $5.6 million for 30 seconds. And I think Disney will have some things, but like Paramount and all these other studios, they can't afford it. They can't afford it.
Interesting.
So
that's disappointing.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So we're not going to get any good Super Bowl. Well,
I mean,
won't
you'll
be.
get good ones. You're just not going to get trailers. You know? Because it used to be like big trailer drops, right? Didn't Avengers?
Yeah. All the big trailers used to pop off during the Super Bowl.
There may be a
Let's get a prediction before you go.
Okay. Score.
Super Bowl win by points. And what do you got?
I will go with the Chiefs 37-34.
Ooh, close game.
Yes.
Chiefs on top. All right. Good stuff.
I'm going to say Chiefs, and it's going to be, I don't know, probably less points. I'm going to say it's going to be like a under 16-point game. And there you go.
I'm going to say San Francisco 246 to -17. That's my final.
That's a winner.
That's my final offer.
Call your bookie right now.
Call your bookie. Put that in. Buy the squares. Buy all the squares you need.
Buy all the squids.
Buy all the squares. Listener, check out the show notes, jockandnerd.com/312 for all the bullshit we talked about in this episode and how to get in touch and how to support the show. All sorts of fun stuff. Thanks for listening. Share the show. Subscribe wherever you find audio. We'll see you next week right here on the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name is Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
Bro, do you even podcast?
I told you to be nice. Fuck that show.
My balls was hot.
My balls was hot.